Hi, good afternoon, President Marcos and Prime Minister Carney. To both leaders, the Philippines' new middle income status is somewhat a seal of good housekeeping and a coming out of the country to the international markets and the business community, in particular investments from Canada. For some, economic growth is not the main attraction to engagement, but there are also qualitative criteria, which is similarly related to the previous question, good governance, upholding human rights, and anti-corruption efforts. So how important are these factors in convincing Canadian investors to stay for the long haul in the Philippines, and how can Canada and the Philippines enhance confidence building measures to reach the goal?
May I start?
I guess,
Yeah.
should I,
Okay, go.
actually, your media, your
All right.
That's a good point.
Well, I think, as you say, it is a form of seal of good housekeeping in the sense that we are recognized that the economic policies that we have undertaken has led us to this. I don't know how you would call it, a heightening of our confidence in our economy. And that, I think, that comes from the fact that the Philippines has, in the last 4 years, worked very, very hard to make the Philippines a more investment-friendly destination for both locals and for our friends around the world. And that it derived from that was our very early decision, very, very, very early on in my administration, that the private sector is recognized as a full partner in national development. And that has led us to the FTA now that we are talking about with Canada, and to the other 20 plus FTAs that we have been able to come to and sign in the last 4 years. If you remember that we have been a low. Yes, we were still in the lower strata of the middle income economy since 1987. And it is just as well that it is about time that we moved up on that strata. We have changed that category somewhat. We certainly still have a ways to go. But I think that in terms of economic growth, and in terms of being able to identify the sectors in our economy and in our government as well, that need to be amended, that need to be modified, that need to be modernized, really. And that, I think, that is what led to the World Bank giving us that recognition. Now that changes the rules a little bit for us, because we have to become less dependent on just straight out the foreign grants, for example. I do not worry. We were discussing this earlier today, and I don't think that it will lead to an increase in interest rates for loans, for example, but we do believe the effect will be on the grants that are given. But nonetheless, that means in a way that can be interpreted as the World Bank saying you no longer need that, and we will replace that with investment. And that, I think, is a very, very important development for the Philippines and its economy.
Well, I agree with everything the president just said. It is look. Let's take the good with the good. It is a positive sign for the Philippines. This graduation. This doesn't happen. It's not something that reflects the latest economic statistic, a good quarter. It is something more broad and development that's been built over the course of the recent years. And if I may suggest as well, also the recognition of the importance of the private sector as a partner in overall development. Now, within that context, to your question, yes, rule of law, respect for human rights, transparency, all those elements are increasingly important I mean, they're important fundamentally, but they become very important as an economy develops. That's part of the positive aspect. Agreements such as we're moving forward on today, including prospect of a free trade agreement, are reinforcing for all those factors. So there's momentum here that and this is the, and I'll leave it with this, which is, this is what progress is you get self-reinforcing momentum, you continue to raise the bar, you have partners who move up with you, and that's what's happening with Canada and Philippines today. So it's a good day. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.